1917 is directed by Sam Mendes, who's the director of James Bond movies Skyfall and Spectre. This movie is set in World War I, and this is the story of Lance Corporal Blake and Lance Corporal Schofield. They are sent on an impossible mission to go behind enemy lines and stop an ambush from happening. When it comes to war movies, there are two kinds. There are the movies that are about the spectacle, and then there are those that are about the struggle. This is definitely about the struggle. Even though it is a war movie, it's a very small, simple story set on a war movie backdrop. I do have to preface this by saying that I had D-box seating when I saw this movie, and there were some people in front of me that were younger than me that seemed to be genuinely disappointed because they're in a D-box seat that didn't move. This movie is not a ride. It's not The Spectacle. It's not Pearl Harbor. It's not Midway. It is a very small, simple story set on a war backdrop. In fact, most of the movie is set either after the battle, before the battle, or in between battles. A lot of it is just people talking and walking on the battlefield through skulls and blood and just all this shit from war that's around them, and they're trying to keep their sanity together as they go on this impossible mission. I can see, though, how some people would be disappointed in something like this because the trailer was very deceiving. It makes it look like this is definitely about the spectacle. In fact, it's one of the things that upsets me about the trailer. Even though I enjoyed the trailer for this movie very much, I still realize that directors don't make the trailers. It's the trailer house to do that. They took very epic moments that happen in this movie and put them in the trailer. Now, those scenes are very action-packed, but the impact of those scenes mean a lot more once all of the actions happen in this movie. Those are probably the most exciting moments they put in the trailer, so it kind of cheapens the reveal a little. I really enjoyed this movie a lot. It's all one continuous shot. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, if you've ever seen the James Bond movie Spectre, you see how they're in Mexico City and they're following with the camera, and then you never take the camera off of James Bond. You follow him through the streets, through the parade, and into the action. The entire movie is set up that way, and I think it's quite brilliant because they wanted to put you in the shoes of these two soldiers as they carry out their mission. Now, the Germans have left all kinds of booby traps for them, but what they're doing is they want to give the illusion that they've retreated when in reality they've just regrouped and reinforced themselves on the other sides, trying to lead the Allies into a big trap. This is World War I. There's no cell phones. They have to get there by any means necessary to complete this mission. Also, Lance Corporal Blake's brother is part of this unit that's about to be ambushed, and they have a very short window of time to stop this ambush from happening. They have orders that they have to take to the general on the other lines to get this battle to be stopped. It's about the struggle of getting there. There's a lot of wonderful cameos. This is definitely a very British version of, say, Saving Private Ryan, but I don't want to compare it too much to that movie because it's not really the same movie. It's just similar in that there are very simple stories set on a war backdrop. There's a lot of cameos from British people that you might recognize from TV shows and other movies. I don't want to tell you who those people are because it kind of spoils it, but if you absolutely have to find out, we have IMDb for that. I really enjoyed this movie a lot. It's a really good way to kick, even though this technically came out in 2019, it was released just this past weekend, at least where I live, so I was finally able to see it. There were quite a few people in the theater. I really enjoyed it, so I'm definitely calling this a 2020 release because that's when I was able to watch it. It's definitely worthy of all the awards. There were certain moments in the movie, such as, they're walking and it's really dark and they're in this village and all you see is the light from the fire that's coming on the other side. It was really creepy. It was almost like it was from a horror movie, but the tension in this movie is magnificent. I would definitely highly recommend this movie, but I do want to taper your expectations to know what you expect. This is not a spectacle war movie. This is about a story of two guys trying to complete their mission. I can give this movie no less than 5 out of 5 cheese curds. I think it's absolutely brilliant and magnificent. I think you should definitely go out and go see it, but just know what kind of a movie that you're walking into, and it's definitely worthy of all the attention that it's getting. I don't recognize the two actors that played Blake and Schofield, but they're magnificent in this movie. I look forward to seeing them in other releases. I'm sure they've been in other things. I just didn't really research it before I went into it. Yeah, definitely a good movie. Go check it out. I hope you like this format of video review that I'm doing now. I'm getting away from doing movies on my live show because I'm realizing that it's just boring for some people, and I also realize that when I record videos in a live format, sometimes some of the things that I wanted to say about the movie get lost because you start getting wrapped up in the conversation and reading the comments, and you start to get tired, and some of those ideas get missed when I do the live show, and I don't really translate that well. At least when I do videos this way, I can get all my points across and get it out there. I think it's definitely the way to go, and hopefully this works out. Also, some of the movies I covered aren't necessarily interesting to everyone, so we're going to kind of revamp the video format on the weekends. We're going to talk about more lost flicks, you know, like for example, this weekend we're going to be talking about Sorority Babes and the Slimeball Bolorama. That's a hard one to say. Try saying that one. Enslaved Girls from Beyond Infinity. So we're going to change up the format here. Hope you're digging it. Let me know all the feedback in the section. Also, when it comes to feedback, I can't post polls on YouTube, so I don't have that ability because I'm not a big enough channel. So I do post polls in my Facebook group, which is a private group because I don't want any kids joining that. It's definitely not a kids forum. It's not a kids channel. I don't make kids contact, so I keep it private. But if you send us a request, we pretty much approve everybody. It's a growing group. I've got 400 plus members, but I do post polls and interact with my fans quite often. I had an overwhelming positive response to the format change. That's where these things happen. If you guys have requests, let me know. I'll probably let people vote on some of the movies that we talk about as well. That way I'm not wasting my time reviewing something that nobody wants to hear about and making a video that nobody's gonna watch. So anyways, that's all I gotta say about that. This is the Groovinator signing out. You guys have yourselves a groovy day. Peace.